first day of October. Next May is a long, long way away. We're already in sacking season, and if AC Milan should lose this one, you just watch those stories starting to emanate across the Italian newspapers about Vincenzo Montella's position. So 0-0 here at the San Siro, or the Giuseppe Meazza, whichever you prefer. Alongside me is Don Hutchinson. And Don, is it really a case of they've basically just cancelled each other out so far?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's been a good football match. It's been a chess match. Defenders have come out on top. I think you look at that tackle there from De Rossi, it was actually a good tackle on Kalinic. I think the incentive's there for both sides, for Milan to try and get the 3 points to go above Roma, and obviously Roma, if they take 3 points, they go very close to their arch rivals Lazio.
Roma effectively have a game in hand because their match at Sampdoria last month was postponed after an absolute deluge. So they have played less games than every other team, of course, except Samp. They will have done by the end of the weekend. Suddenly found its way through from Çalhanoğlu. Kessié just muscled out of it. Play by Fazio.
Well, it was Bonucci that hit the floor from the free kick from Milan. There wasn't too many appeals.
Not even from the fans, really. Fouled by Kessié. Well, let's have a look at this. Is there a foul in here?
No, there's not. It's collar off. That's just got touched tight to Bonucci. There's no foul in there.
And Bonucci quickly back into position to stop Dzeko's progress. Borini couldn't keep it in play. Working exceptionally hard, Fabio Borini. Trying to stop Kolarov.
It's been a tough assignment as well for Edin Dzeko, isn't it, against Milan's three centre-halves.
It's a foul surely on Nainggolan. Andre Silva making it far too obvious right in front of the referee. Promising position for this free kick, and they've taken it quickly. Kolarov will deliver. Not particularly effectively though, and cleared easily by Biglia.
Yeah, I would imagine at some point the game has to open up. Totally get that both sides don't want to lose the game, but certainly you've got to take a few chances if you want to go and win it. It's not going to happen. It's not going to fall in your lap.
There's El Shaarawy. No question of a foul there. Rodriguez. Çalhanoğlu. Romagnoli. Now Bonucci.
Bit more pressure coming from Roma out of possession early on in the second half.
More there. Second one probably more of a claim, but neither going to be a penalty. Simply given away meanwhile. Andre Silva. A couple of massive games in a row for AC Milan. Roma today, and then Inter, in inverted commas, away from home. Straight after the international break, and they're already with 2 defeats from their opening 6 matches.
A little glimpse, if you've not seen Nainggolan play before, anyone watching at home, what a superb diagonal pass that was to Florenzi.
11 seconds, he was trying to take the ball off Çalhanoğlu when the move broke down. Here is Çalhanoğlu.
I think he's the type of player, Nainggolan, you've got to try and free him up and let him play further forward. He's so creative when he's on the ball, always looking to pick a pass, and these sort of areas, it's just too condensed for him.
It's a call in there though by Biglia. Here's Borini. Cross won by Kalinic, kind of rolled off his shoulder in the end. Here's Rodriguez. First time by Biglia, cleared by Fazio, helped on further by Pellegrini. Won by Manolas. Biglia. Çalhanoğlu. I think he was trying to work a 1-2. De Rossi made sure that he couldn't. Away by Nainggolan up towards Dzeko. He tries to draw the foul from Bonucci. Doesn't get it. He's going to get a yellow card for his protest, and he needs to calm down, or he might get 2 in a row here.
Well, he's fuming at the referee, Edin Dzeko, because he felt as though it was a foul from Bonucci. It was just a good battle, and he has to be careful. He's got to calm down. I think it's more frustration than anything else from Edin Dzeko. You see here, he spins Bonucci. I don't think there's much in that. I think there's just a collision, and he goes ballistic at the referee.
He was quickly told to calm down by De Rossi, because booking number 1 was for dissent, and he didn't stop there, did he?
I think it's more of a sign of frustration that he's got no change of Bonucci and the other 2 centre-halves all afternoon.
Absolutely right. It's livened up the crowd a little bit. Such a huge stadium, it's never easy to estimate how many fans are in here, but there aren't too many gaps.
One of my favourite stadiums around Europe. Slightly biased, I was a Milan fan as a kid. Some iconic players of Van Basten, Gullit, Rijkaard, Baresi, and the list goes on.
Maldini.
Yeah.
Let us not forget.
No.
One of the greatest of them all.
I mean, you could literally have a list of about 20 or 30.
You could. Now, Dzeko's rolling around. The referee's completely unmoved. AC Milan supporters are furious. They think Dzeko's tried to get Bonucci in trouble here.
Well, there's nothing in that whatsoever. He certainly hasn't been caught. He's took one on the jaw there, which was an accident from Bonucci.
I think as Bonucci kind of moves towards him, he just catches him completely accidental.
I think what Edin Dzeko is trying to do is just trying to let the referee know that there's a battle going on between the front man and Bonucci. And every now and again he's just trying to say, look, I deserve a free kick myself.
He scored 2 goals against Milan last season, back in May, when Roma won 4-1 here, but he wasn't up against Bonucci.
It's one of them where you start getting a little bit paranoid. That's a good tackle from Nainggolan.
Here comes Dzeko. Can it fire him up in the right way, positively? El Shaarawy. Pellegrini takes a tumble. Referee says get up.
He got clipped, didn't he, Pellegrini?
Way of play on immediately. Fazio got the header in. Barini. Now Andre Silva. It's not a bad ball, away by Manolas though. Kessié.
It's becoming a better watch now, isn't it? Tempo's just gone up a yard.
Andre Silva, now Çalhanoğlu, deflection, corner.
Yeah, it's like that Edin Dzeko moment has got the whole crowd on his feet. And certainly the atmosphere is a lot better. Not a bad effort, just blocked from De Rossi.
So good at that, isn't he, De Rossi? Getting in the way before it can trouble anybody. Milan corner though. Just above the head of Andre Silva, who tried to hang in the air. Barini's header. Çalhanoğlu tries to control it, but he's made a real hash of it.
Yeah, he apologises there, Çalhanoğlu. It's not a hard skill just to take a touch and clip a little ball into the box.
Won 8 of the last 10 home games. All in decent form. to their own supporters. Problem is they've lost 2 of their 3 away games this season. Can't keep relying on performances at home if you're going to make an assault on the title and at the very least get yourself into the UEFA Champions League. Roma have a corner Roma have a corner which Pellegrini tried to swing to the near. Foul on Kalinic. Free kick to Milan.
Nangolan's now just having a word with the referee.
Yeah, it's getting touchy.
I should expect for players playing at the highest level.
I mentioned that Milan next faced Inter in the derby. Roma next face Napoli in Rome. And then they've got the small matter of Chelsea in the UEFA Champions League. Big games to negotiate after the international break. As Rodriguez tries to guide it in towards Kessié. Here's Nainggolan holding off Biglia. Now Bruno Perez up towards Florenzi. Both managers will be toying with the idea of making an alteration, you feel, as we get towards the hour mark. Montella right to the edge of his technical area. Is that a foul on Pellegrini?
Yeah, it was a foul. Slightly late. Romagnoli.
He's given it. Many options available on the bench. Suso has started 5 of the 6 matches in Serie A so far this season. Didn't look as though he was the likeliest to come on there, though. Here's Bruno Perez. And again. Manolas. Fazio, Kolarov. No, he won't get to that because Borini will. 3 on 3 if they can move this swiftly enough. Borini still going, and still, little exchange of feet. It was a great idea, but the left foot, the touch was too heavy. It's not over yet, though. Rodriguez! Well, at the far post, Andre Silva tried to get to it. Never looked like he was going to.
Rodriguez should do a lot more of this. Get the ball on your left side and whip some balls in behind that back line of Roma. He always seems to cut inside on his weaker right foot, and that's a terrific ball. And Andre Silva's a whisker away from getting on the end of that.
Both sides sensing they might be nearing the opening goal. Mistakes starting to creep into the play. The rigidity and solidity that were so prevalent for both sides in the first half has started to dissipate, and from a neutral perspective, the game needed it to do.
I wonder at what point does either manager think about making a change and just keeping an eye on Nainggolan's position. And I wonder if Di Francesco might bring someone in that midfield to try and free him up a little bit. Been the standout player for Roma so far. All of his work was 40-50 yards away from goal.
The players he might have turned to are on the injured list at the moment. Diego Perotti and De Frel as the ball comes in from Kessié. It's far too firmly hit. Kalinic not getting anywhere near that.
Yeah, that one's not a good ball. Far too much pace on that from Kessié. You've got to take a little bit off this. You've got to give your centre forward a chance. People might look at that around the world thinking, well, it's a good ball, centre forward should be in there, but if he's not, you can't just put it across the 6-yard box.
Nainggolan, who's less than impressed with it. Reasonable challenge, actually, from Musacchio.
Yeah, it was quite aggressive, wasn't it? Nainggolan's no shrinking violet, is he?
Absolutely not. They've won all 3 home games so far, but the opposition was Spal, Udinese and Cagliari. Different proposition when Roma are in town. Indeed, Roma were the last team to win here. Roma have won both away games and they might win this one. Oh, Florenzi! What a chance. He knows it. The Milan back 3 went missing. And suddenly Florenzi was through on goal. But Donnarumma is a big goalkeeper.
It's a brilliant ball, one of the best balls of the afternoon. You credit the goalkeeper for making the save, but actually it's a really poor miss. There's not great contact on that from Florenzi. He's got an option. Do I finish first time? Do I try and round the goalkeeper? In the end, he's done neither.
Well, that was the moment, wasn't it? 17th minute of the second half, and the clearest sight of goal for either team. And Florenzi couldn't get it beyond Donnarumma. Here's Çalhanoğlu. Bonucci, and again! Good save by Alisson.
Great save, and it's the first time we mentioned his name. What a super stop that was from Bonucci.
There's a real buzz. One end of the field, the best chance of the match for Roma. The other end of the field, well, that's a yellow card for Biglia for the challenge on Florenzi. He's taken one for the team. But the best 2 chances of the match within, what, 60 seconds of each other.
Game just starting to open out. It was a fantastic ball. I believe it was from El Shaarawy. Couldn't see in real time, but that was a massive opportunity for Roma. And for Florenzi, it wasn't a confident finish. And then Bonucci with a strike inside the 6-yard box. It just fell to him. Just there, he takes it on the snapshot, and a terrific point-blank save from Alisson.
A goalkeeper who hasn't had to extend himself at all today until then.
Florenzi's was the big chance. That's the one you want, bearing down on your goalkeeper, 1v1. Didn't have to take a touch. The weight of the pass was excellent. Put it right in his path.
Well, there's around about half an hour to go. And it is a different game now to the cagey affair we were watching in the first half. Here's Bruno Perez looking for a runner. Florenzi offers himself.
I think the beauty of it, Alistair, we've got no idea which way it's going to go. It's such a good game.
Well, Roma come into this match having won their last 9 away games in a row. They haven't lost in Serie A away from home since January. And astonishingly, they've scored 29 goals in those 9 matches. But this has been a very different game. And Andre Silva now trying to find a way through that Roma defence. Still going, brilliant from him. Couldn't quite fashion the cross, having left Bruno Perez on the deck.
No, twisted him inside out, didn't he, Andre Silva? He sat Bruno Perez on the floor with a couple of little chops. It was fantastic work, and he just couldn't find a teammate in the box. Good work from Milan's number 9.
Here's Çalhanoğlu. It's a good ball, headed away by Fazio, helped clear by Kolarov. Nainggolan trying to get there for Roma.
It's not really a route I see Milan scoring, trying to whip balls in the box, because Roma's 2 centre-halves, Manolas and Fazio, are gobbling every single ball that comes into that box up. And they must be 6'4", 6'5", very strong and aggressive in the air.
And the crowd have certainly responded to this lively second half. The skies have darkened over the San Siro. Here's Andre Silva. Well, the track back was clever. Bruno Perez got it away though. De Rossi helps it further. Foul by Kessié on Nainggolan. He wants a yellow card. If he's not careful, he's going to be the one that cops it.
Yeah, just a routine foul, isn't it? Nketiah on Nangolan. Two combative midfield players. This is Bonucci's strike. You can see how the goalkeeper spots that very, very late.
It's a good save.
I get the feeling we're going to get one or two more chances.
Here's Bruno Perez. El Shaarawy can't control it. There's plenty more for you to enjoy with us on BT Sport tonight. Serie A action continues. Atalanta Juventus, 7:31 HD. French League action as well. Nice against Marseille, 7:45 on 2 HD. And then when we return after the international break, Roma against Napoli. Saturday the 14th of October, 7:30, 3 HD. Put it in your diary. And while you've got your diary out, the following day, it's the first Milan derby of the season. Inter AC, 15th of October, 7:30 on 1 HD. Nangolan too close to the goalkeeper. The communication a little bit suspect, not for the first time today. Nearly a fatal collision between Donnarumma and Romagnoli. They won at Benevento, they won at Atalanta, they won at Qarabag Roma. They won 11 of the last 12 on their travels in Serie A. Plenty of good home form for AC Milan, plenty of good away form for the visitors. Perhaps that's the reason that we're locked at 0-0. Final quarter of the match. Here's Rodriguez, who's starting to get a lot more of the ball in the attacking area of the field. Çalhanoğlu. Kalinic! Almost.
If he drags that shot a little bit more, Kalinic, he probably scores. There's a battle between himself and Manolas, and the centre forward came out on top in terms of getting your shot away. You can see the Roma players don't want to put any tackles in, give anything away. I think there's a little follow through, accidental, probably just there, and he probably wraps Manolas' shins there. Kalinic, half chance.
Eusebio Di Francesco concerned. Vincenzo Montella pacing up and down his technical area. So finely balanced, it's just the most fascinating duel, this one. And now the chances are starting to come, and Alisson's starting to have to make saves, much to his frustration and theirs.
Be quite painful them ones. And Kalinic took that shot on him, probably got his shin caught just on Manolas' shin. Surely that has to be the discussion between Di Francesco and Nangolan. What can we do going forward? Can we do a little bit more? Do we protect what we've got? Do we go for all 3 points?
Stick or twist time. Wouldn't be a terrible result for Roma, would it? Let's be fair. But my goodness, 3 points would be absolutely enormous in their pursuit of Napoli and Juve. And El Shaarawy keep it in play and prevent the goal kick. He's picked up a bit of a cramp there in the process. Perhaps he might have forced himself to be the first player to be substituted, El Shaarawy, there by pulling up behind the corner flag. Here's Bruno Perez, helped on its way by Florenzi. Battered clear by Bonucci. Manolas and Andre Silva, the back heel's clever. Here's Çalhanoğlu, Andre Silva bombing on. Still with Çalhanoğlu. Kessié leaves it. Borini hits it against the back of Kalinic.
Could have went anywhere, that couldn't it, from Borini? They've got a slice of luck there, Roma. And then Kalinic just wandered offside. Good spot from the line.
The Champions League on Wednesday took it well as well.
You just get the feeling that was Edin Dzeko bearing down on goal and not Florenzi. Dzeko would probably have scored.
Here's Pellegrini. Dzeko. Good hit! Great goal! Edin Dzeko. His first chance, if you call it that. And he's blasted it beyond Donnarumma and into the back of the Milan goal. And in the 72nd minute, this titanic tussle is going the way of Francesco Totti's beloved Roma. And Edin Dzeko, the man in form, has himself another.
Well, 7 and 6, and we called it. He was very quiet this afternoon, Dzeko. For the first time, he gets half a yard. It takes a slight deflection on the way through. And the goalkeeper's beaten to his left-hand side. Big strike for Roma, and a huge goal. You can see Donnarumma scrambling away to his left-hand side. He can't get anywhere near it.
It's just the slightest of touches off Musacchio that helps it even further away from the reach of Donnarumma. But it was so well intended by Edin Dzeko. And this wonderful scoring form that he has been in since he became a Roma player permanently from Manchester City continues once again. His 7th goal of the league season, one in the UEFA Champions League as well. And we're only into the 6th game of this Serie A season, or at least the 6th for Roma. Well, now there's going to be some questions asked of Roma. Can they manage this game? But more to the point, there's going to be some questions asked of Milan and Vincenzo Montella. Can they find a way back in? Here's Çalhanoğlu. Now Biglia. Kessié.
That's good play from Roma, passing the way out of trouble.
He has to be thinking about an alteration, surely, Vincenzo Montella. To be fair, they probably had their best chances in the last 10 minutes. But couldn't find a way past Alisson. Here's Rodriguez, and now Kalinic. And now Andre Silva, who goes for it himself and hits the post behind the goal.
I think he's looking at the way Edin Dzeko bent that into the bottom corner. Andre Silva, it's worth taking this shot on. You could see his intentions, trying to find that top right-hand corner as we look. Oh, dear me, it's not far away.
You could tell by Alisson's desperate dive. Was that a signal from Kalinic that he needs to come off? Edin Dzeko's got to be careful. He's already been booked, by the way.
Well, surely it's a Roma throw-in.
He was right. It definitely was a Roma ball. "15 minutes to go, and Roma on the verge of a massive result as they go in pursuit of the two 100%ers, Napoli and Juve. but equally the ramifications for AC Milan. You can't underestimate those either, should they succumb to their first home defeat of the season. And with the Milan derby next up as well, it doesn't get any easier for Vincenzo Montella.
Well, Sherrari buys the foul really well from Fabio Borini, just waiting for the contact, just to relieve a little bit of pressure, take his side further up the pitch. And Roma will need all their experience now to keep hold of the ball. You see this game out, 15 big minutes to go for them.
Good touch, here's Nainggolan. Saved by Donnarumma, and turned in by Florenzi, and surely there's no way back for Milan, and Roma, the away day specialists, are at it again.
It was obvious to see the more you watch Nainggolan play, he has to be freed up and play further forward, because every time he does, he gets shots at target, he scores spectacular goals. And he got one away there. Donnarumma palmed it into Florenzi's path, who was never missing on the volley from 6 or 7 yards out. That's a massive relief for Roma, getting the second away from home. And Milan, it was good work from Edin Dzeko. For the first time this afternoon, Nainggolan gets away from his marker. And that's quite an easy finish in the end for Florenzi.
And it's a big goal for him as well as an individual. Out for pretty much an entire year, Alessandro Florenzi. And he gets his first goal since recovering from that injury. His first goal since April 2016, when he scored in the Rome derby. Well, that was a big goal then. This is a big goal now. And surely the points are Roma's.
Pressure now on Montella. I would have thought he has to make a substitution very early to try and get something out of this game as quick as he can.
Well, the response from Eusebio Di Francesco is to take off El Shaarawy, who, to be fair, was complaining with cramp about 3 or 4 minutes earlier. Now the young striker, Cutrone, is coming on. The gesture earlier from Kalinic was that I have to come off. So I'm sure he would ideally have liked to have kept him out there, Vincenzo Montella. But at least in Patrick Cutrone, he has a goal scorer. He scored 3 goals in the UEFA Europa League, 2 already in Serie A. His first goals in the competition. And the Italian under-19 international striker now is entrusted with the responsibility of trying to get Milan back into a game that he's starting to seem beyond them. Touch there was a good one from Çalhanoğlu. Cutrone got to it. Great from Nainggolan. It's a free kick, it's a foul on him. It's the only way to stop him sometimes. And a yellow card is inevitable, and a red that follows it. Well, it was already looking desperate, but Çalhanoğlu, who was booked in the first half, now gets a second one. And any thoughts that Milan had that they might be able to get back into this game have completely evaporated. I don't think there was much of an argument with his yellow card in the first half. I don't think there's anything to argue about there. And Francesco Totti, well, he may be impassive, but he will know that his beloved Roma have 3 points.
Yeah, that was a silly decision in the end from Çalhanoğlu, just going to ground on Nainggolan. But you have to say, probably in the last 25 minutes, Roma have been excellent. They took the game to Milan. They pressed them really well. Milan's created 1 or 2 chances themselves. Bonucci had a good opportunity, but in terms of the team opening another team up, it's been all Roma. Florenzi had a 1v1 with Donnarumma. He fluffed his lines, and all of a sudden from then, they've been very aggressive, Roma, going forward. There hasn't been a lot in the game.
Well, there hasn't. But, maybe you say about how close it was. Dzeko, oh, he's trodden the ball. Dzeko's influence has grown, Nainggolan's influence has grown, and it's no coincidence that Roma have opened up a 2-goal lead.
These 2 players have got to play closer together. Roma are such a better side when Nainggolan's closer to Dzeko. There's a relationship between Nainggolan and the front man for Roma. He makes his runs at Dzeko because he knows Nainggolan's got the quality to find him. And that little diagonal run just in behind the back three, even though he couldn't take it in his stride, was so evident when you watch these two players play. You can see Nainggolan's now just playing further forward, just operating in that 10 position. De Rossi won't move, he'll sit and protect. He'll stand still in that centre circle.
The Gazzetta dello Sport was full of pictures of a worried-looking Vincenzo Montella ahead of this match.
Oh, nearly.
The headlines are already being written about him, I think, don't you?
Nearly there from Nainggolan. Just played an eyes pass to Edin Dzeko, who just switched off. Just feinting to shoot there from distance, Nainggolan.
Roma heading for 10 successive away victories in Serie A. That's stunning. The side who finished second last season with their highest ever points in Serie A history. They were 4 points behind Juventus in the end, but you could tell that they were a side who would certainly be pushing Juve this season. 90 goals they scored last campaign, with the likes of Edin Dzeko and Nainggolan pivotal in their goal scoring. And Bonaventura is going to come on for the last few minutes, and Barini's worked like a Trojan today. There can be no critics of him today. Bonaventura. And it's a desperate situation for Milan now.
Big 3 points for Roma, though. Takes them 1 point behind Lazio and 6 behind Napoli.
With the game in hand, of course, if they can win it against Samp. Of course, that huge game against Napoli beckoning in a couple of weeks' time. A game you can see exclusively live here on BT Sport.
And 4 wins on the spin as well in the league for Roma. Great return after losing against Inter.
Chelsea are going to find Roma tough opponents when they meet them in the back-to-back home and away games in the UEFA Champions League. The two sides who are unbeaten in their group, and Roma have exhibited all the qualities that mark them out as a very good side in this fiercely competitive match with Milan. Remember, before they went down to 10 men, Roma were already 2 clear of AC Milan.
Yeah, some lazy journalism in England thought that Roma would struggle in their Champions League group. They thought it was going to be a foregone conclusion, but not if you've watched Roma over the years. They've been excellent.
All 3 Italian sides at the top. Napoli, Juventus and Roma, or rather the 3 who finished top 3 last season. They've got genuine ideas of going the distance in the UEFA Champions League. Juventus, of course, have been unluckily drawn against Barca of all teams, but you still think they'll negotiate their way through the group, and then you wouldn't want to meet them as a group winner in the draw in December.
It's a strong Champions League as ever, isn't it? Some top-class teams in it.
Manolas took a blow before, didn't he? And he is precautionary, I'm sure, being given a rest. Juan Jesus, and an obvious replacement. Well, as we reach the last 5 minutes of this game, you have to say, Don, that this second half performance from Roma has been first class.
Yeah, they've had to work for it. I think Milan have done quite well in spells, but as the second half's grown, I think we saw a couple of players in particular, Edin Dzeko and Radja Nainggolan, have been excellent. They've created chances, and Roma have scored 2 very, very good goals. Dzeko's first one was a massive relief for them. then all of a sudden their experience could sit in, keep hold of the ball, defend really deep, and hit them on the counter-attack, and Florenzi got his goal.
As for Milan, 3 defeats now in their last 5 matches. Not acceptable for owners who've invested 230 million euros. They're starting to fall away from a group of teams who haven't lost a game yet this season, of course, in Inter, Juve and Napoli. Of course, Juve play tonight in Atalanta, who may try and change that statistic, but the bigger the gap gets, it's very rare that those sides actually, or certainly Juve and Napoli, don't look like they're going to give up too many points this season, and the way Inter have started under Spalletti, they don't look like they're going to give up too many points. It's already going to be a catch-up that they're not going to save at AC Milan.
I think the beauty of this Roma side as well, they're so good at the back, they don't give too many goals away. I think they've only conceded 2 goals in Serie A this season. They're so strong, they've got lots of experience back there in Bruno Perez, Manolas Fazio and Kolarov. They can grind any sort of result if needed.
Here's Kolarov, who always adds his weight down that left-hand side, up and down the park as he does.
Even someone like Daniele De Rossi at 34, he hasn't had an outstanding game today, but he's crucial to how Roma play.
And Alisson, remember, made a couple of important stops. Let us not forget that. The one from Bonucci in particular. You must have seen that one late. It seemed pivotal at the time, and so it proved. It was 0-0 at that point. They've been battling. The effort's always been there from AC Milan. You can't fault them for that. Silly sending off really from Çalhanoğlu, but to be fair, the game was already up by then, you felt anyway. They don't look like a side who don't believe in their manager, that's for sure. It's a cruel old game, football, and the problem you have as a manager when new owners come in is that you haven't been appointed by them initially. That's number one. Then when those new owners dip in deep into their pockets and bring you in some of the best players from across Europe, that just doubles the scrutiny upon poor old Vincenzo Montella. And Eusebio Di Francesco has come in to take over from the legendary Luciano Spalletti, and he had a tough job on his hands, but he's reacted well to his first challenge when they lost at home to Inter, with victories in each of the next 4 games.
I think the difference is between the two sides, both sides are quite strong at the back. I mean, I know that's a contradiction today when Milan have lost a couple of goals, but midfield's been key. You think of Bilia and Kessié and Çalhanoğlu, nowhere near in the likes of Nainggolan, De Rossi and Strootman's league. So that's where the game's been won and lost.
Remember, Strootman went off after half an hour. That was a big blow to Roma's plans with that concussion, looked like anyway.
Pellegrini's done well since he come off the bench, hasn't he?
Yes.
Performed really well.
3 minutes of added time before Roma can enjoy what has been a magnificent display. And 3 minutes before the Italian scribes can start to write their headlines about potential successors, and believe me, I'm not coming up with these stories, they're already prevalent in Italy. Carlo Ancelotti removed from his position at Bayern Munich, a man with a deep, deep history at the San Siro and with AC Milan. And the timing of this defeat and the timing of his surprise removal from Bayern Munich. Well, the Milan derby looms in 2 weeks' time. We shall see who's in charge of AC Milan in a fortnight's time. Well, there's a pocket of Roma supporters who've taken the fast train from the Italian capital, and they're the ones who are shouting "Olé" with each touch that their team has of the ball. Those who've come just a trip down the road have been vacating long since, really since Çalhanoğlu got his red card. Roma will move up the table in terms of points. I think most significantly, it will ensure that both Juventus and Napoli are within touching distance, particularly with that Napoli game in 2 weeks' time. Of course, Napoli will then face Manchester City, so they've got a couple of huge matches looming for them. All that live action you'll be able to see exclusively live on BT Sport. Contrasting emotions for the supporters. Such high expectations for the Roma fans, despite the fact that they were at AC Milan today, because they have been playing so well away from home. I think they fancied themselves today, Roma. I think a lot of pundits fancied them as well. And that is indeed the way that it's gone. Victory for the visitors, victory for Totti's Roma. Bonucci and co back to the drawing board for them. The opening goal